Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about Nintendo Switch emulation with Suyu, and Suyu is back. In yesterday's video, we talked about their GitLab account that had been taken down due to a DMCA, and today their code is back up and it appears that it's self-hosted. On top of that, the Suyu website also has some multiplayer lobbies listed. They say here, after some minor delays due to bug fixes, we're pleased to announce Null PTR's revamped multiplayer room server. This means the ability to list and join public rooms for multiplayer is functional. To use it, press the button inside the multiplayer tab and double-click on any room. Now, as far as I know, this is only for the PC version of Suyu. The Android version does not have multiplayer at the time of filming. Now, if you are curious about the whole Suyu DMCA situation, I do recommend checking out Video Game Esoterica's video. It is very informative, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. And on a quick side note, if you do end up heading over there, you may want to check out this video as well. It's based on Sonic Overture 95. A dead ROM hack that is back alive. Again, video in the description below. But moving on, and next up we're quickly talking about arguably the best Nintendo Switch emulator on PC, and that's Ryjinx. And I've got a couple of updates for you. So as of version 1.1.1242, for AMD GPUs there has been an improvement. There's a fix here for RDNA 3 graphics cards, which is the RX 7000 series, freezing on some Unreal Engine 4 games, like Shin Megami Tensei 5. And for Mac users, you might be excited to know that they're making great progress on the Metal back end. It's gonna take a while, but at the same time, this is some pretty big progress. And continuing to talk about Nintendo Switch emulation, next up we're talking about Sudachi. Sudachi is based on Yuzu, available for PC and Android, and just got a brand new release. So this is a mouthful. Version 7715077 has just dropped, and they've just added in support for Princess Peach Showtime. If you are curious about this one and wanted to learn more about it, I'll drop a link to it in the description below. The APK and Windows builds appear to be available on their GitHub. And speaking about Princess Peach Showtime, next up we're talking about Princess Peach Showtime. And based on reports I've seen and heard, and even videos on YouTube, Princess Peach Showtime appears to be working on Sudachi and also Ryjinx without too many issues. However, on Suyu, the game, as far as I know, is not working yet. Now, reviews for this game seem to be a mixed bag. Some people love it and some people not so much. And while I haven't had a chance to play it just yet, I've certainly seen my fair share of footage. I mean, the game did leak a little while back, and yes, footage has been shared online. If you played this game, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Next up, we're quickly talking about EmuDeck, and this is more of just an FYI. So we've got an announcement from EmuDeck. They say, "Hello EmuDeck community, we've been seeing some misinformation being spread lately, so we felt the need to clarify some things related to Yuzu forks. Contrary to information being shared on their Discord, Suyu's Discord, EmuDeck currently has no plans to support Suyu now or in the future, nor add it to the installer." They go on to say, "We are constantly monitoring new options for additional emulators to use, including Suyu, but have been left unsatisfied with the steps taken by Suyu project leadership on both development progress to continue to improve Switch emulation, as well as taking the steps needed to avoid the same fate as Yuzu itself, among other issues. There appear to be some workarounds to get Suyu working on EmuDeck, but at the same time here, Ryjinx may just be the better option." Next up, we're quickly talking about PCSXSense. This is a program designed to work with PlayStation controllers, mainly the DualSense, and have them work through X input on your PC, making them compatible with a whole bunch of different games. And PCSXSense just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, Beta 0.9 is the latest update. They've added an option to add rumble to each button press. And they've also added an option to start PCSXSense on startup, so your controller works right out of the gate. This program works with the DualSense Edge, and also the DualShock 4. It's come pretty far in a very short period of time, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Next up, we're talking about the MiG Switch, and there's some very interesting and arguably crazy information that I just saw in a Take Udon video. It's titled "The Nintendo Switch Will Never Be the Same, MiG Switch Dumper Review." Yes, Taki Udon does have his hands on the MIG switch dumper and also the MIG switch flash card. In this video, he explains pretty much everything about the MIG switch dumper, what it is, how to set it up, and how to use it. And while using it, he makes a very interesting discovery. Playing Minecraft through the MIG switch dumper on a hacked Nintendo Switch running Yuzu, the performance was better than that of a stock or unmodified Nintendo Switch. Taki says you should not be able to get an improved gaming experience by running an emulator that emulates the device you are using to run the emulator. And the second thing that Taki brings up in this video I think is a very valid point. The MIG switch dumper may change the Switch cartridge landscape moving forward. It appears that counterfeits may be easy to make and may start popping up. Now, based on all of this information, it kind of makes me wonder about the Switch 2. What kind of cartridges is the Switch 2 going to use? Is it going to be similar to the Switch? Is the MIG switch dumper going to be modified to accommodate the Switch 2 cartridges? Is it going to be a problem there as well? The whole thing makes me wonder about the future of Switch cartridges and if this is going to be a big headache for Nintendo. I guess we'll have to wait and see until we find out more details about the Switch 2. Let me know your thoughts and speculations in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about Dragon's Dogma II, and a lot of people were excited about this one. Unfortunately, the release does not seem to be going very well at all. This person says Capcom releases $70 single-player game, shows de nouveau, shows microtransactions and paid character edit vouchers, shows anti-cheat, all in a single-player game. And if we take a look at the reviews at that point in time, they are mostly negative. Now, if we head on over to Steam at the time of filming, there's quite a few more reviews. There's over 28,000 and it's been bumped up to mixed. Throughout the reviews, I've seen some that complain about microtransactions, performance, and even more. Now, the backlash and complaints about this game appear to be so bad that Capcom actually had to issue a statement. So they start out by saying, to all those looking forward to this game, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. They state they're investigating and fixing critical problems such as crashing and freezing. And they're looking at an option to start a brand new game here. They say we're looking at adding a feature to the Steam version of the game that will allow players that are already playing to restart the game. They address the paid DLC and list out some of the things you can earn in game without buying them. And they also address some of the poor frame rate questions. They say a large amount of CPU usage is allocated to each character and calculating the impact of their physical presence in various areas. To me, that sounds like things aren't necessarily optimized. And they say they're looking into ways to improve performance in the future. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, this is another big example as to why I don't pre-order many games anymore. This is, in my opinion, unacceptable for launch. It feels like it was rushed. I don't know why AAA games are launching in this condition. But if you have purchased this game, please let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Do you agree with the reviews? Are you enjoying the game? Do you wish you would have waited? And what are your thoughts on the DLC? On a quick side note, for those of you who do have Dragon's Dogma II and you're playing the game, GameRant has a very important PSA regarding saves. I'll drop a link to this article in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. This stuff kind of concerns me. It says Dragon's Dogma 2 players should be advised that using the load from last in rest option in the main menu will automatically overwrite their only manual save. Some fans have claimed to have already lost hours of progression due to this unexpected behavior. And the game's sole manual save slot is also constantly overwritten by autosaves. So if that stuff is true and we pair it with the negative reviews and also Capcom's response, I think it's safe to say that this game could have been launched in a much better state. And speaking about game releases, next up we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. And Kotaku has an article titled GTA 6 production reportedly falling behind. The open world sequel is set to launch next year, but leadership is worried it could get delayed until 2026. So Tom Henderson, industry insider and owner of Insider Gaming, says, "I'm not even sure what to make of the Kotaku article on GTA 6. No info is new, and it seems to be just trying to stir the pot based on Bloomberg's reporting." I did some digging online myself. I asked around, and I didn't find anything concrete about this Kotaku article and the speculation. And if Kotaku is doing this to say they speculated correctly or reported or predicted correctly the release date of GTA 6, I think almost anyone could. You could say, you know what, GTA 6 is releasing between 2024 and 2050. And if it comes out in any time frame between then, you are technically right. And speaking about release dates, next up we're talking about Earthion, which is a game being designed for the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, and will also be heading to modern consoles. It's being created by Yuzu Koshiro. And they just dropped a brand new gameplay trailer for this one, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. All of the footage of this shmup is right from the Sega Mega Drive, and as far as I know, it's set to release late 2024 at the earliest. And it's being reported that Limited Run Games is also going to be making a physical version of this game. And speaking about games, next up we're talking about Shattered Pixel Dungeon. This is an open source traditional roguelike dungeon crawler. So version 2.3.2 was released back in February. We've got bug fixes, improvements, and even more here. It includes a second null-themed variant for the new Caves quest. Shattered Pixel Dungeon is available on PC via Steam, GOG, or itch.io, and is available on mobile for both Android and iOS. Or you can pick it up right on GitHub, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Next up, we're talking about PS4 emulation with Shad PS4, and Shad PS4 just got a brand new update. Now, it's worth pointing out that Shad PS4 is still in its infancy, so don't expect it to be running anything like Bloodborne anytime soon. And version 0.0.3 just dropped. They say the most important features of this release is Linux support and running a few Open Orbis demos. Fun fact, one of the people working on Shad PS4 is one of the people working on Panda 3DS. It's a small community. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.